What's up YouTube? Jeff back again from dopetechdaily.com. Today I'm bringing you guys a quick look at the unboxing and initial impressions of the LG Watch Sport, designed with our friends at Google, between LG and Google. Talked about this watch last week in my vlog. Talked about the fact that I ordered it from the Google store, which I did because I wanted the blue color. The blue color is exclusive to the Google store. If you want to get the stainless steel or whatever it's called, the one that's more black and silverish, you can grab that one. That one's from AT&T or from the Google store or Verizon, but Verizon's back ordered quite a bit. So this is the box. Obviously, as you guys can already see here, I already took it out of the box because I got this yesterday. I went ahead and took it out. I've worn it now for about a day, and I want to give you some initial impressions. That's the reason I took it out. I don't think there's anything too exciting about just taking the watch out of the packaging and showing you all of the plastic that's on the watch. So I will say one thing about this watch. When you get this out of the box, there is a ton of plastic on this particular watch. So make sure you look all around the edges and everything. Make sure you look on the back, on the sides. There's so much plastic on this watch. Definitely takes the award for the most plastic on a product that I've seen in quite a while. So you guys can see what the watch looks like here. It's a pretty darn thick watch. The main thing I want to do in this video is show you some impressions on the size and how it compares to other watches. I got the Apple Watch, I got my Moto 360 2nd Gen, I've got the Gear S, and the LG Watch Urbane 2 LTE. You can see it's quite thick just by looking at the side profile there. These straps are also not replaceable on the Watch Sport. The straps are replaceable on the Watch Style, which I also have coming in. You've got this rotating crown here. You've also got two buttons here on the side, which are quick shortcuts. I'll talk about that in a second. And yes, you can see I got the blue color. Some people have said that it doesn't look that great. My friend Danny Winjet over on Twitter, super scientific, he said he got the chrome and black because it just looks nicer. I personally like the blue because it's kind of unique. So actually the strap is pretty nice. It's like a silicone strap. Even though they're not replaceable, I found it pretty comfortable on the hand. I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like on my wrist so you can just get an idea for the relative size. I've got a pretty reasonably sized wrist, so it doesn't feel too bad. I've actually worn the LG Watch Urbane for a while, so you can see just without even me strapping it up, you can sort of get an idea of the relative size of the watch right there. So I don't want to go a full software tour because I'll probably do a video 72 hours later. This is a 24 hours and also the unboxing. So I want to show you guys what's in the box, and then I want to give you some fit comparisons to the other watches that I have, and then also talk a little bit about my battery life impressions here on the very first day. So you can see I put the Apple Watch back in here. That's because when I tried the watch on, I was wearing my Apple Watch. So I'll go ahead and do a size comparison with that in a minute. I didn't take any of the stuff out of the packaging yet, so I can show you guys what comes in the box. Let's go ahead and get this out of here. This is going to be our charging station. It's actually kind of weird. The charging station's encapsulated, so it comes out of that little packaging like that. It's a little strange. And then you've got, of course, your power brick. And in the side here, we're going to have charging cable. And we've got some instructions and a SIM removal tool, I believe, there. So let me get the SIM removal tool out of there. And I'll go ahead and put all of this stuff back inside, just in case I want it for later. All right, so here's everything that comes in the box. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is your charging cradle. Of course, as usual with smartwatches, you've got one of these docking stations where you're going to rest your watch there when you're charging it, just like so. It's going to sit there on your desk. On the back here, you can plug things in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the charging cable. As usual with everything else, really, really nice to see. If you guys can take a look at that, that is a USB Type-C cable. So it's really nice to see that they went with USB Type-C because all of my cables are now USB Type-C. That's one thing I was wondering about when I got this watch, because all of my watch cables right now are micro USB. So it's nice to get a watch that has micro USB-C instead of micro USB. This is going to be your SIM tool. Shows you how to take the SIM out. Now I'm actually going to run this as just a Wi-Fi only for now because I want to test the battery life and compare them. But once I get done testing the Wi-Fi only, I will do a little tutorial on how to remove the SIM. There's probably a couple of videos out there already on that. You're just going to use this tool on the back. You twist it. I showed how to do it for the LG Watch Urbane. It's the same idea. I'm going to take my SIM out of my Urbane 2, put it in here, test the battery life on that. As soon as I get done testing it out on the Wi-Fi, you got some instructions as usual. You might want to read those if you're new to smartwatches. I'm not new to smartwatches, so I'm not going to worry about that. And pretty standard, you got a power brick to go with your charger. So that's pretty much it. Pretty standard stuff when it comes to what's inside the watch. You guys can hear it buzzing because I keep getting some notifications. So again, just a couple of quick things. You can see I've got a pattern lock on here. There is the option to do that when you have your watch locked, to go ahead and put a pattern on it. Took the screen lock off so I could show you a few features. As I was saying before, you might think that these buttons being quite large would be an issue because the watch is also so big. But actually, when I have this on my wrist, I find it really easy to go ahead and rotate through my notifications. I have absolutely no issues doing that. This bezel, which you can rotate, is actually really convenient for going through the settings. There's actually so much vertical scrolling in Android Wear 2.0 that you're really going to appreciate having that scrolling wheel. And I would say Android 2.0 on any other watch that doesn't have the scrolling might actually be a little bit difficult to navigate. So I have no problems with the buttons. It is a little bit big. If you have a small wrist, it might not be the watch for you. It's not really that much bigger than the LG Urbane 2 LTE, however, and I haven't had any issues with that. So let me go ahead and show you guys really quick the comparison to the other watches that I have in terms of size. First up is its predecessor by LG, the Urbane 2 LTE. You can see right here that the new watch Sport, if I put them, let's see if I can, the two bands do not really have much give because they're not removable. You can see the LG Watch Sport is quite a bit thicker. So it's got this thicker back here. And so you can see it's got a very similar setup to it. You've got the two buttons on the top and the bottom. Also this crown, but the crown does not rotate on the LG Urbane 2 LTE. They both have really big screens, so they do take up the same sort of total area on your wrist. And also you can see that the bands are non-removable on both of these watches. So if you're used to wearing an LG Urbane 2 LTE, you're not going to have any issues moving over to the LG Watch Sport. It's going to be a very similar size, a little extra thickness, but not something I really feel on my wrist. The next one, just for a fun comparison, this is the original Gear S, which is the biggest smartwatch I own in terms of screen size. You can see the LG Watch Sport, still very, very small compared to that. It is thicker in terms of the overall thickness of the device, and there aren't very many buttons on the side of the Gear S, but still, the Gear S much bigger in terms of overall screen real estate. I've kept this thing just because I like the nostalgia and I like how big it is. I like the futuristic look when it's on my wrist. The next one, which is a really good comparison, because a lot of people are going to see this, and that is the Apple Watch comparison. The Apple Watch obviously is a much thinner device, as you guys can see here from the side profile. It is a huge difference. I went from wearing the Apple Watch, this is the Series 2 model, the aluminum model, and I went from wearing that to wearing the LG Watch Sport. I could definitely feel the difference right away. You can see in terms of the overall profile, just a much smaller watch. It's much lighter. You're definitely going to notice if you go from an Apple Watch to the LG Watch Sport. You also don't have as big of a button. You can see the digital crown on the Apple Watch is quite a bit, it's not as protruding as much as the one on the LG Watch Sport. It's an overall different type of watch. Whether or not you like one versus the other depends on your use case and also your personal style. I will do an in-depth comparison of these two because I really love the Apple Watch 2. It's one of my favorite smartwatches right now. It's the one I've been using full time until I got this one. So I'll do a full comparison of these two. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'll definitely focus on battery life and the overall usability and feature sets of these two watches. The next one, which is the Android Wear watch that I used for a large part of 2016 before I picked up the Urbane 2 LTE in its second release. That's the Moto 360 2nd Gen. You can see if you look at the side profile, the LG Watch Sport pretty much almost twice as thick as the Moto 360 2nd Gen. It also just has an overall different look and feel. It's got these lugs. It also has the replaceable bands, whereas the LG Watch Sport does not have replaceable bands. The actual only button on the Moto 360 2nd Gen is at the top. So again, it is going to get the update to Android Wear 2.0, but you're not going to have that rotating bezel, or not rotating bezel, rotating crown, which is going to make that a little difficult probably to navigate Android Wear 2.0. Once I get the official release on here, I'll try to do a comparison between those two as well. And then the very last one, which I always like to do a quick comparison, is my standard Swiss watch. This is my Tissot watch. As you guys can see right here, if you look at a comparison between these two watches, the Tissot watch is also not nearly as thick as the LG Watch Sport. It's probably about half as thick, just like for the Moto 360 2nd Gen. The LG Watch Sport is an incredibly thick device. Of course, it needs to be to have that extra battery for the GPS, the NFC, and the LTE if you choose to use this with a SIM. So that's just a comparison. Also, the actual screen, the overall front of the watch is much bigger on the LG Watch Sport than your standard Swiss watch. So that's a quick comparison to my other watches and smartwatches. Again, I'm going to do an overview of the software in a separate video and also a comparison to the Apple Watch in a couple of days once I have some chance to use this. In terms of overall battery life, you guys can see today I am at, let's see if we go 22% right there. Been using it most of the day today. I did install my initial apps, of course, and the apps now live on the watch, so that did take quite a bit of battery life to go ahead and install those apps and get everything set up. I also got a system update out of the box, so 22% is not too bad. However, I was using this as a Wi-Fi device, remember today. This is not being used as an LTE device right now, so we'll see how that goes once I put my SIM card in there. I'll give you guys a battery life update. Overall, I really like the watch so far. Android Wear 2.0 has a high level of usability compared to the old version, in my opinion. The watch strap is comfortable on here, even though it's large. I'm used to it. Overall, comfortable to wear. Decent battery life so far on Wi-Fi. I am a little concerned once I start using Android Pay, start using Maps, and I start using LTE, that this watch is not going to get me through a full day. So I'll let you guys know about that very, very soon. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it for me. I appreciate you guys liking and subscribing if you enjoy my content. You can find me at dopetechdaily.com, Google+, Instagram, and Twitter at the links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching.